Alright, YouTube! Hello. We are currently streaming on Twitch. I'm going to do this live because I want to go through some questions and answers. In the Veil Breaker Mag buff video that I put out on Monday, because there's a lot of people who have been leaving comments and a lot of people have been asking questions, so I basically want to go through that. Now, I'm not going to go through each question in that comment thread. Instead, what I've done is I've actually collated a bunch of topics that seem to be sort of big topics that people have been asking. Even if it's just one or two questions, people have been asking those questions, so I want to go through each one of them, okay? So, the first question that I came across is an energy generation question. My biggest issue with Mag, quote, is energy. Always running out of energy. Been trying to find a new build for her. Okay, so in Warframe, we have a bunch of solutions for getting energy as Mag. Now, the one that I'm going for specifically is called Emergence Dissipate. Emergence Dissipate is an arcane that you can actually use on your operator. The way it works is you basically have to use the sling, but before you use the sling, you have to click on the sling. Easiest way to do it is basically crouch, use the sling, and then press, just press your click, and that will get you the Emergence Dissipate thing, which will then pop out in front of enemies. And then you just have to go basically pick it up, and you get a bunch of energy. So that's, of course, really, really useful. As Cephalamara has pointed out very correctly in the chat, this is a Xeneric moment. If you are truly struggling with energy, one of the things you can first try and use is Xeneric. Wellspring is the ability from Xeneric that is really, really good for the purposes of getting a bunch of energy. When you use Wellspring, so let's actually activate Wellspring here. So when you use Wellspring, all you have to do is press 1, and you create this area, this zone, that will then provide you on the top right-hand corner. You can't see it because my camera's in front of it, but you create a zone that will provide you with a bunch of energy. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner right now, there is a bunch of energy that is being regenerated. What you can also do is, on top of that, press 1 a second time, make the zone bigger. You'll also get 20% power strength, which is actually going to be quite useful. You get 20% power strength, boom, there it is, okay? Should be noted that 20% power strength is not going to be enough to get you 100% armor strip with Fracturing Crush, so you may want to run a power strength mod on your Mag build if you happen to be using Fracturing Crush, okay? Another way, very easy to make, you can make these en masse, energy pizzas. You can make these at 100 a pop. So those are just 3 ways that you can get energy on Mag. Alternatively, you can also run Equilibrium, and then you may want to try and abuse Synth Fiber and Synth Deconstruct on your Sentinel/Cat/Dog, I think. So basically your companions, you may want to try and abuse those synth mods. That's another way. If you truly still run out of energy, try Helmet Thing out an ability, and then Helmet Thing in Dispensary. It's a bit more of like a heavier way to get energy, and it's something that I used to do for a very long time, Dispensary Mag, but that is an option. Emergence Dissipate, Energy Pizzas, Xeneric, Dispensary, Spectra Siphon, yep, absolutely, Spectra Siphon, 100%. Really, really good ways. The way with Spectra Siphon, the way that works, basically, because you can put enemies inside a magnetized bubble, once those enemies are inside a magnetized bubble, or hell, when you've used the new pull and enemies have clumped up together in front of you, just put a Spectra Siphon around them, or rather put Spectra Rage around them with the Spectra Siphon augment, and then just kill them. The idea is when an enemy is killed inside the Spectra Rage circle, there's a 50% chance that they drop an energy orb, and when you kill a lot of enemies, you're gonna get a bunch of energy orbs. It's that simple. Oh, and if you're going to do that, you might as well run Energize. But you probably don't have Arcane Energize, or else you may very well not be asking that question. I don't know. But either way, yeah, Spectra Siphon, Dispensary, Arcane Energize, Emergence Dissipate, Equilibrium with potentially Synth Fiber, Synth Deconstruct, Energy Pizzas. You know, we've already just come up with 7 whole solutions, and there's like 5,000 more that you can choose from. I actually did a video about this a very long time ago when a certain YouTuber was still actually sort of active. That YouTuber is no longer active, so I will not name them. But for whatever reason, that particular YouTuber thought it was a really, really good idea to introduce an augment to Titania, of all characters, of all Warframes, so that they could, quote, manually pick up energy orbs and therefore manually manage when Arcane Energize pops. I then proceeded to make a 9.5-minute video detailing 15 different ways or something like that to get energy as any Warframe. So you can watch that video too. Good luck finding it. All right. The next question is about survivability tactics. Okay, love Mag's new changes, but when I play Mag, it's always hard to stay alive in high-level content and also endurance missions. Shieldgate is nice, but little room for mistakes, IMO. Can you share some tips on how to survive as Mag? Okay, we do have a variety of options, but as this person has already suggested, Shieldgate. If Shieldgate's not working for you, that kind of sounds like a little bit like a skill issue because shield gates are really, really strong. Basically, the way that it works with Mag is that with your third ability, you almost generally will get a shield gate by default. So let's just unpause and refresh these enemies here. So when we try to shield gate, so right now, I've actually run into a bit of a problem. Okay, I've actually run into a bit of a problem. So, spoiler alert, my Mag build only has 100% power strength. At 100% power strength, your Polarize is only going to restore 400 shields. 400 shields is actually not enough at base to get you a shield gate moment. Like the hard shield gate. It will get you a soft shield gate, but it won't get you a hard shield gate. What you actually need is a little bit of power strength in your build in some way, shape, or form. So that's why, you know, running Matter Eye is probably a good idea because then I get 40% power strength for free. So that's one thing. But like, alternatively, you could use Crush. Crush will get you so many shields that you actually get over shields. So when I lose all of my shields, I just basically use Crush and now I have 1650 shields. Just like that. Like, it's pretty good to have both Counterpulse and Crush available. And so then the big question, like the reason why I wanted to bring up this question really is to just quickly go through a bit of nuance with regards to when you should use Polarize and when you should use Fracturing Crush. So let's have a quick look at the abilities tab of Crush. Did I say Fracturing Crush? I meant Crush. So every time you get shields, every time you hit an enemy with shields, or rather, every time you hit an enemy with Crush, you get 25 shields back. You hit an enemy 3 times. You go 1, 2, 3. That's how Crush works, right? So when you hit enemies 3 times, you get 75 shields. So what you want to do is you want to go up against a certain number of enemies in order to make sure that at the very least, you can get all your shields back with Crush. But on top of that, if you go up against enough enemies, and that's usually around about like, if you're going up in an endurance mission as well, you're probably surrounded by like 20 to 30 enemies. That's usually enough. 30 times 25 is like, what? 800 thereabouts? That's a rough guess. 20 times 35. No, that's like 600. Like, it's like 600 something. You're gonna get 600 shields back. So just by doing this with one arm, you get 600 shields back, which basically means you get your hard shield gate back. So at that point, especially in endurance missions, focus on using Crush as a way of getting your shields back. But of course, because you're focusing on using Crush, which is your ultimate ability, you're going to need to do something about your energy, which goes back to the whole idea of, I run out of energy, which therefore refer to previous answer. So that's one thing. Number 2, Counterpulse exists. So Counterpulse is an augment that I like to use a lot on Mag. Basically, the way this particular augment works is that when enemies are hit by Polarize, their weapons are jammed for 4 seconds. This only works obviously on ranged enemies. So if you use it on butchers and or like and those kind of things, it's not going to work. We're going to summon 10 Corrupted Heavy Gunner XMI and 10 Butcher XMI. Oh, by the way, this works on XMI. So now I am effectively surviving against XMI, not because I am tanky, but because I am able to crowd control them. So the corrupted heavy gunners are literally not shooting me. Like so. And you just keep on using polarize at regular intervals, you're pretty much good to go. Alternatively, if you use magnetized discharge, then you can also turn those corrupted heavy gunners into people who have to use swords, which is another way that you could potentially try and stay alive by basically disarming enemies. Like so. Alternatively, just kill them. 5 head. But like barring the idea of just kill them 5 head, you have counterpulse as a way of jamming guns, you have magnetized discharge as a way of actually just straight up disarming them, and then you also have crush, or fracturing crush, as a way of just very quickly getting a bunch of shields back so that even if you do get hit, you still get that shield gate. So that's of course going to be really, really useful. If all of that is still not working, there is always the adaptation mod. Very, very strong. So adaptation is a mod that was released a while ago. I think it's available, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this mod is specifically available in arbitrations. Very, very strong mod for staying alive because it works on shields. The damage resistance actually works on shields, right? So therefore your shields are effectively tankier. 90% tankier. When you have 90% damage resistance, correct me if I'm wrong, you are taking 10% damage, which effectively means that your shields are 10 times stronger. So that could be a really, really good solution. We have a couple of ideas. One of the ideas that I highly do not recommend is redirection. At this point, redirection is not a mod that exists. I'm sorry, folks. Unless you're Hildren, redirection is not a mod that exists. Okay, fine. If you're Hildren or Harrow, unless you're Hildren or Harrow, redirection is not a mod that exists. Don't use it on Mag. If you're using redirection on Mag, that is the reason why you're dying, because redirection actively makes it harder for you to get a hard shield gate. So yeah, I do not recommend redirection at the present moment. Shields also have a default 25% damage reduction. I would never have known, but okay. There we go then. Apparently shields have a 25% damage reduction, and even I don't know about that. Okay, next question. So, how long do you think it will take DE to nerf this fun? I don't think DE is going to nerf Mag anytime soon. The only way that DE is actually going to nerf Mag, a Warframe that they just buffed to become probably the strongest Warframe in the game, unless it's Harrow, is if everyone starts to use Mag, and everyone only uses Mag. The reason why Wukong got hit by a bunch of nerfs is because 20% of the population were exclusively using Wukong. That was the stats. We have like 50 different Warframes, and somehow Wukong was being used 1/5 of the time. So clearly DE were like, okay, we need to curtail the amount of times that Wukong is being used, whilst also buffing some Warframes that aren't being used a whole lot, namely starter Warframes, because for some reason nobody was using Mag. I know, Mag was always really, really good, but for some reason nobody was using her. I don't know why, so whatever, it is what it is, okay? So they buffed Mag to the point where she's ludicrously overpowered. They also nerfed Wukong back a little bit, not a lot, a little bit, let's be real here, a little bit, so that people might consider actually using other Warframes. Will DE nerf Mag? Not unless Mag suddenly becomes like, not unless the Mag usage rate suddenly spikes up from, what was it, like 1% last year to like 10%. If somehow 10% of the time everyone's using Mag, okay, I would totally agree. DE should really like bring it back, bring that shit back. And I do think that DE should bring this shit back. Honestly, I think Mag is ludicrously overpowered, but if they're not going to do anything about it, then fuck it, they're not going to do anything about it. DE is going after automation playstyles. Even Octavia, despite being busted, is acceptable. Yeah, because at least with Octavia, you kind of have to actually do something, whereas with Wukong, you're literally AFK, which is also another thing. So right now, it seems like DE is trying to go against automation playstyles. When that is all sorted out, maybe DE will look at Warframes that are genuinely, truly, absolutely, hilariously overpowered. Harrow, Mag, Harrow, Mag, Octavia. Those would be my three choices. And I say that as a Mag main. I say that as someone who really enjoys playing Harrow. Gotta curtail that back a bit, in my opinion, because there's no real challenge. Well, aside from dying in Archon hunts at the present moment, but that's just me, not being able to practice myself properly. I play too recklessly. That's just a me thing. That's just a me thing, right? Still no Caliban buffs. Yeah, still no Caliban buffs. That's a bit of an odd one. Hopefully, Dee will get around to looking at that soon. But yeah, will she get nerfed? Probably not. I don't think she's gonna get nerfed anytime soon. Okay, the next question is, what amp am I using? We're basically using Katagari's Verity. I've got Emerges Renewed, Emerges Dissipate. That's what I'm using as part of being an operator. But I'm also using Virtuous Strike, that's the one I'm using, and Eternal Onslaught. Boom, there it is. Eternal Eradicate and Eternal Onslaught is the go-to for amps. What the hell is Eternal Eradicate again? On operability plus 20% damage for amps. Oh, yeah. I prefer Virtuous Strike because I get like 80% crit damage. Wait, how much damage do I get? 60% damage. 60% damage or 80% crit damage. Either is fine. It doesn't really matter. I think Virtuous Strike is pretty good. And also, keep in mind, because I'm using... If you want to use Virtuous Strike and Eternal Onslaught, it's easier to farm for them because they come from two different places. Virtuous Strike comes from Cetus, right? Virtuous Strike comes from Cetus. Eternal Onslaught comes from the Zariman. So you could double farm, and you could potentially get them both pretty quickly. Whereas if you're trying to go for Eradicated Onslaught, well, you gotta first try and max out one of them. You probably want to first try and max out one of them before you go and max out the other one, or you get rank 3 of one, then get rank 3 of the other one, and then get rank 5 of the other one, and then get rank 5 of the other. It gets a bit messy. Whereas with Virtuous Strike, Eternal Onslaught, just double farm. Just double farm. Boom, done. There it is, right? This is Warframe. This isn't Genshin. You can double farm in Warframe. You can't double farm in Genshin. Fuck resin! Anyway, moving on. Mag build, question mark, is a question that was asked. Literally, someone was asking, that's literally coming out tomorrow if I remember to upload it. Speaking of which, I gotta go and upload that video. The next question is, it's not really a question, but I want to briefly talk about Warframe being review bombed specifically by potentially Chinese Wukong mates. Chat, how do we feel about the fact that Warframe's currently being review bombed on Steam? To me, I feel like review bombing Warframe because your favorite Warframe, i.e. Wukong, got slightly nerfed is, in my opinion, the height of cringe. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, your boy now has his friend actually use your ammo pool. Ammo pool? Wow, why did I just say that? Use your ammo pool? Cry me a fucking river. Okay. Is that really a problem? I don't know. I don't actually use Wukong. I don't know, actually. Let's actually bring out Wukong. If you ask me, Wukong hasn't been nerfed at all. He actually hasn't been nerfed, at all. If anything, he's been buffed. Why? Because they actually buffed his pogo stick. They actually buffed the Iron Staff, which effectively makes him stronger. I'm sorry, but I cannot empathize with this whatsoever. So the idea that apparently a bunch of people are review bombing the game because of the ammo pool changes, specifically to explosive weapons, by the way, and the Wukong nerf, that's just sad. I'm sorry, that's just sad to me. Okay, moving on. The next question is, why would you use melee on Mag? So this is an interesting question, okay? So what I mentioned in that video, hey Raz Glyph Master, how's it going? So what I mentioned in that video, the Mag buff video, right? So the way that it works with polarized shards is that when you produce your polarized shards and you grab them, right? If you are close enough to enemies, the polarized shards will start doing damage to those enemies, which means you can actually do melee Mag shenanigans. So the question then becomes, why would you ever want to play melee as Mag? Well, I can think of an answer. Because sometimes, you just happen to go up against a lot of enemies, right? Sometimes you go up against a lot of enemies. They're inside a magnetized bubble. and you know, they're all clumped up, you can get your melee counter up to max instantly. Having a really, really high melee combo counter is typically the idea with regards to playing melee, at least in my experience. So notice how like I have my 12 times combo multiplier, right? Let's do that again. Okay, I'm gonna put him inside a magnetized. I'm gonna put him inside the magnetized bubble, right? Okay, I've got my 12 times combo multiplier, just like that. If you are playing a high-level endurance mission, or hell, if you're playing like any mission where a lot of enemies are spawned, for example, exterminate missions, survival missions, those kind of missions, you can very quickly get your combo multiplier up. Maybe you just like playing Melee Mag. She has one of the best grouping capabilities, I can't speak, in the game. So with pull and magnetize, you can clump enemies together, which means you can get your combo multiplier up really quickly. So why the hell would you not play Melee Mag? Pick whichever melee weapon you want. I'm right now using Sigma and Octanus because I really like the idea of having a sword and a shield. That's just me. Maybe you'd like to have a great big ass sword. Bring along a Grand Prime or a Galatine Prime, something like that. Maybe you like using a hammer and bring along Fragile Prime. You know, bring whatever the hell you want. We have so many different weapons, just pick one. Okay, final question. And this one is hilarious. In my opinion, this is the question. In my opinion, they, capital N, nerf everything but the female Warframes. Sexist company, facepalm. That's the question. Is DE sexist for nerfing male Warframes and buffing female Warframes, ladies and gentlemen? That's the question. Now, obviously, if you play some of the female Warframes, you may already know that they have been nerfed. Valkyria was nerfed. Trinity was nerfed. I think Saren kind of was nerfed when she got reworked. You know, all that stuff. And DE never buffs male Warframes. That's right, chat. When Harrow received his rework and his energy ability, his third ability, Thurible, went from usually 40 energy per kill to 80 energy per kill, that wasn't a buff. DE never buffs male Warframes, okay, chat? DE never buffs male Warframes. When Mag got buffed, who else also got buffed? That's right, Excalibur and Vault. What are they? Male Warframes. There are literally 2 starter Warframes who are male and 1 starter Warframe who is female, but DE doesn't buff male Warframes, okay, guys? DE is a very sexist company, okay? They only buff female Warframes. They never buff male Warframes, okay? Excalibur and Vault, they didn't get buffed, okay? They didn't get buffed. They didn't get buffed, okay? What you are seeing with the Excalibur and Vault reworks, then they don't exist, okay, guys? They don't exist. They don't exist. They don't exist. They don't exist. DE is not a sexist company, IMO, okay? DE is not a sexist company, IMO. Okay, I want to actually show everyone the thread. So this is a hilarious thread that you can't see because memes. Okay, this is the thread. Okay, here we go. In my opinion, they nerf everything but the female Warframes. Sexist company, facepalm. Trinity would like to have a word. Yeah, that's right, folks. Trinity received a nerf, by the way, folks. Trinity actually received a nerf, and so did Valkyria, right? Let's have a look at what else Let's have a look at what else is going on. The strongest Warframes in the game are all males even after the nerfs, so I think it's perfectly fine a little attention is shown to the female frames as well to make it balanced. Chroma, sort of. Nidus, yeah. Revenant, yeah. Rhino, yeah. Nezha, yeah. And not Inaros. Inaros, no. No, Inaros is the worst fucking Warframe in the game. Vault, yes. I guess. Ash, yes. Wukong, still, hello. Atlas, yes. Excalibur, Umbra. Sure. Without modding, are pretty much immortal. Okay, fair. Well, Maybe not in RS these days, but yeah, sure. Female Warframes like Valkyrie, Trinity, Mag, and Nyx need the buffs to catch up. Well, in my opinion, Mag never needed these buffs, and she was still like head and shoulders above quite a handful of these Warframes, namely Inaros and Excalibur. But hey, that's what they think, so you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You're the first person I ever heard say that. No, he isn't. I've heard many people call Wukong fantastic. I've heard many people call Chroma fantastic. I've heard many people call Nidus fantastic. Even the other YouTubers admit that the female Warframes are stronger. Like, we're not going to do this. I want you to remember this particular line. You're the first. Even other YouTubers admit that the female Warframes are stronger. We're not going to do this. And those Warframes that you name do not be New King, the room like female Warframe, and now you lie. I'm having a stroke. This guy, when he made this comment, did not know much about the game. Luckily, you set him straight. And here's the hilarious part. Number one, apparently Shadow and Master, Shadow Hand Master. Oh my god. I read that as Shadow and Master for some reason. Shadow Hand Master. I have been playing this game since beta. Me, as well as a few hundred others, helped build the game in the state that it is today based on our feedback back in those times and currently behind the scenes. We have all witnessed how all the male Warframes I mentioned take little to no skill at all to survive at all at the end game content. Well, maybe not in ours. Modding them and giving them overpowered AoE weapons severely creates an imbalance for other frames as the female frames I have mentioned. Within the past 2 to 3 years, the focus has shifted to the offense of the weaker female frames to give them a fair chance, as their defensive capabilities are still lacking. Weaker shields, armor, health, etc. Well, I would still argue Mag's weaker shields is actually pretty good because shield gain is really, really strong, but hey, it is what it is. I've been tinkering for Trinity for ages with Molt Augmented. I can run 200% duration. Nice! 2. I don't really care what other YouTubers think. Everyone is entitled to their opinions, even if they can't tell their asshole from a hole in the wall. Okay, that's a new sentence. I've never heard of that one before. I've been playing the game consistently from the beginning. Many teams I've been on since beta have mostly been the male frames I've mentioned above. Only recently there has been a big surge of Saren, Ember, Mesa, Nova, and now Mag players. Why? Because within the last 2 to 3 years, they have just gotten massive reworks, which took years for the DE team to put together, even though they've been practically begging them to do this since the beta. So that is a very interesting response. And this is actually a very good response. I like that. I like this response a lot. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting response. Yeah, and keep in mind, reworking a Warframe is not as simple as, oh, we'll just go up and down on some numbers. They literally had to change, like, the interaction of pull. Pull used to pull enemies all over the place, right? They literally had to go into the code and like figure out how to actually rework it so that enemies no longer fly all the way over there, they fly to you. That takes time. It might not take years to implement. I don't know how long it actually takes, but it does take time. You know? All this shit does take time. Okay. So Moses says, blah, 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 every YouTuber tier list, I'm guessing tier list, has majority of the female Warframes at top. That won't work over here 100%, so I don't care what you be playing since beta, and it has been changed since beta, etc, etc, etc. I chime in whether the actually strongest Warframe in the game is Harrow, so you know, L plus ratio, what's up? The entire premise of this person's response is they nerf everything but the female Warframes. The female Warframes are the strongest. The male Warframes all suck. The strongest Warframe is Harrow. Boom. Done. Boom. That's it. Done. I'm gonna need you to make a list of the strongest and weakest Warframe video. I'm not going to do that. You know why? Because I don't care about that shit. I literally don't care about that shit. Because what is strong and what is weak is completely irrelevant to me. I only care about what's fun and which Warframes have interesting kits that are functional and, I guess to some extent, strong. But what is strong, what is just strong, and what is just weak, I don't give a shit about. I don't play Wukong for that reason. I don't care. I don't care. I wish the buff Champion's Blessing. What in tarnation is Champion's Blessing? What in tarnations is Champion's Blessing? I forgot about Harrow. I don't even use him because he's so strong the game is simply too easy. Mod him for health, health, duration, spam his fourth ability, instant gold mode. That's it. Yeah, that's true. Talking about Trinity's fourth ability. Oh, okay. I don't know anything about that, but okay, yeah, sure. Sure, why not? I mean, hold on. To be fair, Trinity does have Energy Vampire, which effectively makes her, like, by definition, one of the spammiest Warframes of the game. Is it really that scuffed? That Champion's Blessing only lasts for 12 seconds? When you constantly have energy? Is there a reason why you're not just regularly pressing 4? I wish the Augment wasn't so gimmicky to use. Okay, evidently I don't know a whole lot about Champion's Blessing. Let's have a look at this Augment real quick. Oh yeah, that's basically it. That thread was hilarious in the sense that, like, all I had to say was, hey, Harrow's the strongest Warframe. What's up? What's up? Gain primary and secondary critical chance for each percentage you heal on allies up to 350%. Oh, so that's why you're not spamming it, because you want to make sure everyone is nearly dead before you, boom, go for the Blessing Augment, and then suddenly you get a bunch of primary and secondary crit chance. Is that the idea? Hey, Gasty, how you missed the entire Q&A. Something to think about. I don't know a whole lot about it, but sure, sure, buffer to 20 seconds, that makes sense to me. Yeah, sure. That's the Q&A, folks. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.